Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this reading. We will see what the path is to your next love interest in this reading here. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not quite sure how to engage it, you can watch the video in the ribbon above and it will walk you through it. Once you've made your choice, the reading for you is marked in the timestamps in the description box in the comment below. So whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's get into the path you have to follow or you are following in order to meet the person of your interest next, okay? So the first oracle card we have here is, in any moment I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation and stillness. I'm getting a hermit mode over here, so you might be either single for a very long time, or even if you're dating, you don't feel like you want to commit to anyone at this point unless they hit a lot of the right points. So either you already have a very clear list or idea of what type of partnership or partner you're looking for, or it is this journey of self-discovery and understanding of your needs and desires for the future that is going to bring you to this person here. There is a spiritual component that both of you share, so if you're not already on a spiritual path, this can be you getting a little bit deeper into that, either for self-healing or just out of curiosity. But the more you get into it, the better you're able to manifest, even if you're not like using a particular technique or anything, you're just becoming more and more naturally magnetic and charming as well. Your inner personality is coming out more, you're feeling more confident in yourself, and the way that you present is just very calm, soothing, and inviting. Okay, these are the words I hear. I think this person has certain qualities like this in common with you. The blue is really loud and clear in this card, so I'm getting that you are expressing yourself a lot more. And you know, this could have come from a place of challenge, so you might not have been a very free expresser from the get-go, but as you've transformed, the transformation itself is empowering you as well. So let's get into the details. We'll get some tarot cards and then we will clarify each of these things. Awesome, we have the Magician, which also corresponds with expression. We have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, see, this is that personal blocks and like victim mindset as well. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Star. Let's see what else we have. Last card. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so let's clarify each of these and then we will talk about them. Okay, so let's clarify the Magician for pile 1, please. How are they meeting their next love interest? What is the path they're taking? And then find their love interest. Magician, please clarify that. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, see this freedom of communication coming through, freedom of speech, of self-expression, of creativity, showcasing what you are inside, and being a master manifester as well. The Magician and the Star both indicate that you are making this happen. Eight of Swords, please. I feel with the Seven of Pentacles, you have waited a very long time, or you have put in a lot of effort into this. And the Eight of Swords with the Five of Swords could have felt like, I've done everything right, so what is not working here could have felt a little bit defeating along the process. Perhaps you've tried to make things work with people and you've really done everything that you could think of and everything that you have read, but when it did not work, it's just kind of annoying and also confusing as to like, why is this not working? And let me tell you, it's part of the process. Okay, that's why it's here. That's why I even know about this. Okay, Two of Swords, please. Let's clarify this. Let's clarify. We have the Seven of, yeah, this is the whole like confusion. Maybe there is also a difficulty of trusting your intuition or knowing when something is the right one, or when something is actually feeling right, or it's just the passion or temporary emotions in that time. Yeah, that can usually be a confusion with the Two of Swords card as well. What instinct am I supposed to trust? Is this my intuition or is this my mind? Something like that. Okay, let's clarify the Star, please. Well, we have the King of Pentacles, and let's clarify the 7. We have the World. Okay, so two types of messages I'm getting here. One is this person could be from either a different country or this is a long distance type of connection that is first made happen, but that doesn't mean you don't meet at all. You do meet. You first of all, you talk a lot and you get to know each other very well, and then you meet. Okay, because King of Pentacles is like in the flesh, 7 of Pentacles in the flesh, so you happen to meet this person. It can be, the way that you meet might be a little bit strange or out of the norm, but that kind of makes your story a lot more unique. And of course, in the process, it might be a little bit like, I don't know, like, is this possible? Is this practical? Am I kidding myself? You know, my past has not been the best, and you know, there are certain fears or insecurities attached to relationships, dating, and just experiences so far, basically. So is it going to work? I have manifested before, so I don't know, that was not really the best choices. So is it going to work here, right now, right here? It seems like this is part of that journey here. And the Star and the Magician is like, just keep trusting the process. I know that's kind of easier said than done when you're like going through a lot of this by yourself. This is not like to negate any of the practical experiences that you've had, but it's more like shifting your perspective to see what you have gained from the previous connections. Because you know, you can manifest and actually create anything you want, but what you want might not have been authentic to the real you, right? In the sense that at that moment it might have made sense, but the way both of your souls were wanting to develop or grow might have been very different lessons or different experiences either one of you were trying to have, which would not have worked really well with the collaboration of the other person. And if you had stayed together, then there would have been like clashes and, you know, one person sacrificing a little bit more than the other, or even worse, both of you sacrificing your actual dreams and then being a little bit resentful down the line. So before things could get any more murky, let's say more murky and confusing down the line, some relationships did not work, right? But it was sort of, I'm kind of getting trust the words that were in the very back of your mind. You know, it's very easy to focus on what happened on the surface and what the conversations were or what the attitude was and all of that. It's very easy to notice that, but look at the intent behind your search. The requirements you have of a person, look at the intent of the other person. Even if on paper you make sense, it might not have made a lot of sense when it came to the uncomfortable parts. Yeah, that's I think the better way to put it. The way that you argue with each other is going to tell a lot of, you know, how long you're going to last, and that goes for like any connection here. So being with each other during easy and happy times, that's like a piece of cake. Anybody can be with anyone in that situation. But, you know, life usually throws us a lot of curveballs. You know, some things don't work, some things do, and it just doesn't make sense when you're in the situation. But when we zoom out a little bit, we can see what was not worth it, what was, and so on. So doing that, zooming out, zooming in, into yourself, can help you widen the perspective that can help you see the benefits you gathered from your previous relationships or the times that any of your manifestations have not worked. What was not working in that situation? What was inauthentic to the very core part of you? If there is a small slight of, you know, hesitation or misfit feeling, and you will know that because it feels a little bit uncomfortable when you're saying a certain affirmation or when you're trying to manifest something that's just not authentic to you, but you feel like you should have it, so you try to force yourself to believe that you want it and that you have it and that you're worth it, and you know, the whole routine that everybody does. But bottom line is, if you don't actually want it, you just don't want it, and that's okay, because you can want it perhaps like 2 days later or 3 days later or even a year later. That's okay. You're not missing out on anything. It's just doing these sorts of processes, whether you're engaging your thought, your words, or using subliminals or other meditation techniques and writing and all of that, whichever way you go, it's a process of learning what works for you, what does not, and why. Okay, like certain methods, for example, for me, they just don't work because I have a hard time believing when I'm doing those things. Meanwhile, other methods just help me bypass my conscious thoughts a little bit better. And I also find that when I meditate a little bit more regularly and I'm asking these intrusive questions to myself as to, why is this the case or why is that the case, and I'm uncomfortable, quite actually, I'm uncomfortable to look into those answers and answer those questions, even if it's just me, right? I still go through it and I discover that there is a root problem, or there's a root answer that just has not been found yet. And that's really what I'm looking for. That's really what I'm wanting. Sometimes the roots are very, very simple. We have like 10 million lists of like, this is what I want, and then this, and then that, and then this. But bottom line, it just means something very, very simple. The foundation has to be strong. The person must come from a good background. Or, I would like to meet someone from a very diverse culture and learn a lot more. I really enjoy increasing my awareness, and meeting someone from a completely different part of the world is going to help me do that. So I would love to learn from my partner and go collaborate with my partner in this situation. Stuff like that, where it actually becomes a very mutual situation. I think that's a part of the journey here for you as well. You're looking at what are the basic and the base qualities you are really wanting, or you really would love to have in common, and you're open to just about anyone from any background because you've shed so much. Okay, so don't be disheartened. My bottom line is that don't be disheartened. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it helps you learn so much more that the next time it does, and then the next time it does even more, and so on and so forth. Okay, because that's why I'm saying this so repeatedly, is because the Star and the King of Pentacles is making flesh what was once a hope, an aspiration, a dream that you thought would never be true, or just maybe I'm just dreaming, I'm just fantasizing, it's probably not even possible. Those types of things are actually becoming true here. And you have the power to make it so. You have it. Yes, you do. No, I don't believe it. No, yes, you do. That's very interesting to hear a little bit of a dialogue. Anyway, now this person could also be someone who's very abundant or is going to be a lucky influence for you. But I also feel like you are a lucky person within yourself, like your influence is lucky for people in some ways. You might feel like, okay, so other people have luck, that's fabulous, so good for them, but like, what about my partner, or what about my choices, and so on? Why does this keep happening to me? What choices am I making that's just not going the right way, and so on? But yes, you are a lucky influence, so is this person, and there are some basic lessons here that need to be, not going to say lessons, okay? There are some of these experiences that both of you have chosen to go through here before meeting, because it needs to come from, the meeting itself needs to happen from a very solid foundation. Like, both of you have not signed up to deal with these types of concepts. You want to work on exploring and expanding and so on. We can't skip from where we were to where we want to be, go from 0 to 100 in like a day, okay? I would really love it if that was the case, but I'm just gonna be real here. We need to go through a little bit of a learning curve, and but that does not mean no. It means absolutely yes, we're getting there, okay? We're getting there. Okay, now you could meet at a conference or a presentation. Could be a very naturey spot as well. There's so much pentacles going on, the world. If you're a traveler, then while you're traveling in a different destination entirely, could be possible over here. I'm not getting education, but I'm really getting, like, you might be going for a particular dream, whatever that might be. Like, what's your next step here? The world is like, you are almost done with a chapter with the 7 of Pentacles. Hold on, patience, you're almost done with this phase, and now the next one is going to bring in a lot of clarity, a lot of answers and options, and also a lot of your manifestations to come true here. So this can be, what is your next plan? If you're going for a job, then you might meet this person there. If you're going for a conference and presentation, seminars, teaching, guiding, learning, you will meet them there. Something like that, where you have to change location in a way. The Knight of Swords can talk about air travel or webinars or something like that, where you connect through the internet by learning something, and then you see that you have your thought pattern or your working style is quite similar, and you happen to collaborate in that manner, or you like talk about it and you're like, yeah, okay, so you do that too, that's interesting, how's life like, and so on, and so forth. Again, there will be some sort of overthinking throughout this process after you meet this person as well, as to like, okay, this looks good, this looks fine, but I'm not going to hope for too much. I'm not going to expect anything, and you know what, that's okay. Like, you don't need to expect anything. Let this unfold as naturally as possible. But I'm just saying that, yeah, it kind of happens in that way. The way that you communicate or the way that you think is, you have that in common. That lucky influence is really standing out loud and clear. And there's also some more like abundance, greenery, self-independence, self-confidence, self-reliance, things like that is going on. Perhaps this person is a little bit more experienced in some way, or has already built some sort of foundation and is very secure themselves, while you might be still on the go. You're still making it happen. Yeah, and this person can be sort of an inspiration, basically. Maybe the journey that you have is also similar. So you can really look at them as an example and be like, okay, so that happened, and then what happened in your life? All right, so after I struggled, I got this opportunity, I met this person, and then blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, all right, so that sounds hopeful, that sounds cool. And, the same thing, or like a parallel thing, is kind of happening to you as well. So you have that kind of sharing. And even the times that you felt a little bit depleted, deflated, and kind of hopeless, you happen to share that with the other person as, the times go by. And yeah, you find that there is a sort of like-mindedness or tribe that you can sort of trust. Okay, so I'm going to get your oracle cards now. Pile 1, please. What else can we know about the next path for pile 1 towards the next love interest? Yes, we have Cancer 8000 North Node. Yeah, see that dealing with the difficult emotions, fears, and insecurities, that's extremely a part of this whole journey. No wonder I had to emphasize on that. For a moment there, I was like, why am I talking so much about this? Let's move on to the next. But it just kept on coming, okay? So yes, that's again being emphasized here. 8th house talks about astrology, tarot as well, or something metaphysical, even like psychology, therapy, something of that sort, where you're like sharing and discussing. I'm not gonna say you're dating your therapist or something. That's not really what's coming through, okay? That's not what's coming through, but I think you're dealing with certain stuff either by yourself or taking the help of someone, and maybe you meet this other person as a patient as well, who also needs therapy about some things, and maybe you talk about it in the waiting room or something. That's like one scenario, when the other one is just happening separately, and as you deal with it and bring in healing, your heart goes through this major awakening process. And how you can recognize that is because your heart kind of feels as though it's like swelling up and filling up again. It just brings in an expansive and open and joyful energy. And after that awakening, it's kind of like you drop all expectations. You just are like, there is no want. I'm not going to chase. It just is, I'm just going to magnetize here. and make this happen. And that's exactly when, you know, when you drop all of that and you're like, look, I've made my wish, you know what's my wish, universe, I'm just gonna leave it at that now. You do you now. Okay, you do your part. That's when fates kind of come in and intervene and bring in this right person as well. But the surrender is like a very important part of this whole journey, and in order to surrender there should have been some sort of resistance before, right? Because yeah, duality, you need to have something in order to understand the other polarity, things like that. Okay, so once you know that these are some pitfalls that you go through, certain experiences you've had, you make sure and you can identify very clearly when you're about to have those situations. So trust that feeling, trust your intuition, and yes, it might be a little bit confusing here. That's where the inner work comes in, to see what is coming from the past and what is coming from the right now. The right now is going to be the feeling you need to follow here, okay, being in the present moment. So if meditation helps you with that, go right ahead. Therapy, then go right ahead. Or even astrology, you know, maybe learning more a little bit about yourself is going to give you a bit of a perspective as well. Okay, what else? 10th house, Venus in Taurus. Yeah, you might meet them at like work or a public space, some career you have in common. If you share like a creative career, there could be some type of collaboration you do from like far away, or there is like this person might be a public figure as well, and you might come across their work and you start talking, and just it feels very natural beyond the surrender point. Okay, so I feel like these top three, it's kind of in a sequential process here. The Magician is, you know, manifesting in the way of like, I want this, so I'm gonna like grab it. And the clarified with the Knight of Swords is kind of, let's pursue what we want. And then pursuit does not work, and then you're confused as to like, okay, did I not make the right choices, and am I overthinking this, and so on and so forth. And then with the Star there is that surrender and complete faith and stillness in the universe. Like, I'm just gonna let it go. I've said everything I needed to say, and I'm just going to have faith in this moment right now. And the Seven of Pentacles is like, all right, we're gonna get to work. We're gonna make this person meet you no matter what part of the world they're in. Okay, so that's really cool. Yes, professionally, I think you have some things in common here. Also, it can be that the level of your skill is similar. Okay, but that level has to be, 10th house is kind of at work, like, so you have some sort of expertise. So take it as it resonates, all right? Wow, all right, so that's what I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Actually, I'm just going to do some charms because I'm constantly looking at it, so might as well, right? Pile 1, please. Some charms for Pile 1. Paths to their next partner. We have a heart and we have this fairy with a star. Yeah, that's kind of repeating that heart opening, immense faith. It feels like the floodgates are opening and the stars are kind of aligning in your favor. It's a very natural process, okay? You'll know it. The moment you feel the most natural, you know it. It's going to happen, okay? That's it. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope this is a lot more comprehensive and wholesome now with the charms, the no surprise edition. So yes, let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. We'll see what the path is towards your next love interest. So let's get into it. We have Joy is the ultimate creator. Okay, so that's a very nice card to get. As your oracle, it indicates that you're having fun, you're doing what you enjoy, following your passions, creating things, and stepping outside of your own limits and your comfort zone and just feeling exhilarated. That's the word I was getting. Exhilaration, that's when you find this person here, and as you follow that path, you meet this person or you increase your chances of meeting this person, perhaps because that's the vibe that this person is in. Okay, so the first card we have here is the Star. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, a lot of Pentacles already. Star corresponds with Aquarius. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Wow, all right. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, so we only have Pentacles going on here. So likely you're meeting them because of common occupation or career or interests here. You might be paying for some sort of services that this person has if in a business sense, but there is a collaborative vibe going on here. The time that you meet this person, you're a little bit busy or you're trying to find a better balance in your lifestyle. So let's clarify and see what the star means for you. Pile 2 viewers, please, the path to the next person. We have the King of Wands clarifying the star, which is like ultimate manifestation powers. You might be practicing the law of attraction and other techniques here to make this a reality for you. Also, once again, you're following your dreams and hopes. You're making your dreams a reality, basically. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles, let's clarify that. Thank you. We have what? We have the Star with the Pentacles. It might be that you meet this person through friends. Friends you consider like family. It looks like a community of sorts. And they introduce you to like more of their connections, and through them you come across them. Okay, so the Six of Pentacles, what does that indicate for pile 2? The path through which they meet. Okay, let's see. We have the King of Swords. Some sort of okay. You have like a lot in common. Your belief systems and your thought process is very, very in common. And because of that reason, you can have like very effortless communication with this person. And this can also be that you're taking a course of sorts, and in that process you meet like a tribe of people with like common interests, and you kind of connect with everyone very free-flowingly, very easily, and one of them is the person that you're looking for here, basically. And with this person there is an especially even more like easy flowing conversation, but it all starts from like you doing what you actually enjoy here. The Two of Pentacles, let's clarify that. We have the Fool coming through and the Three of Pentacles, please, let's clarify. Yes, okay, the Hanged Man. I'm gonna go for one more for Three of Pentacles. That's 2. Three of Pentacles for pile 2, please. Alrighty, I guess that one is enough then. Usually when it goes reckless, that's the sign to stop. Alright, so Two of Pentacles with the Fool indicates that you're trying something new here. Maybe you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and while it's a little bit, uncomfortable, it is still something that brings you a lot of joy. You're looking forward to the experiences here, and you're actually very surprised to see that you have so much in common already with the new tribe or new community that you're relating with. And also you will discover that you have a lot more skills than you give yourself credit, and you might already be at a more advanced level than you think you are. In whichever way this applies. If you're like joining the workforce for the first time, and you're like taking on a new course, or just joining a new team, taking on new skills, whichever way this is. And also, let's take this out of the workplace situation. If we are meeting through like friends and family and so on, you still see that whoever you are meeting through your friends, it's not just going to be one person. There's like a lot more that you will connect with, but you see that you can get along with just about everyone. And at the same time, they also have like different passions or like different skill sets. Perhaps you guys like do very different jobs or different things you've studied, different areas of interest here. So there's like a lot of diversity that you can talk about. But ultimately, because everyone's like doing a diverse group of subjects, you have kind of a more open-ended discussion. It does not get very niche very fast, okay? But with this particular person that you're making a connection with, you can get a little bit nicher. So, you have a lot more in common than the general populace. But either way, even on a general scale, you see that you have a lot of awareness. Either you have traveled or this other person has traveled as well. And I think there is a sharing of experiences so far. And I think you see a very different side of the world or a completely different perspective or mentality than you are accustomed to, or than the ones that you have experienced. And that's like very deeply exciting. And with the all the pentacles coming here, it can be that this person is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and also the star is coming out twice along with the King of Swords. So Aries, not Aries, sorry, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So basically earth signs and air signs are coming through here. You could be one of them, and the other is, you know, your person. What else? I think it's as though even if you would, okay, this is kind of the opposite message of like pile 1, but this here indicates that, you know, even though on paper you don't make sense, you still make sense. In pile 1, what I got was on paper you make sense, but then you don't, like for like a previous connection. But anyway, it seems like you are either very different people, or that you have different skill sets, different approaches, but at the same time you have a common goal. Okay, the approach might be different, how you do it is different, but where you are going is very, very similar, and that's what helps you kind of come together and collaborate on things. This seems that I don't think like you notice this instantly, okay? I think you're just talking, you're having a good time. Joy is the ultimate creator, right? You're just having a good time, you're spending time with your friends and family, and you're just talking to whoever is here. You just don't notice too much. And also it can be that either it's a busy environment, or you're in a new space, so everything kind of seems busy, and you're just trying to handle everything, kind of hold everything in balance here. And I think this other person is the one approaching you. You're not going there, you're just doing you basically, okay? You're enjoying yourself, you're learning new things, you're experiencing everything that is in front of you, and this person kind of happens to approach and also follow up, but at the same time not at all pushy, kind of giving you your space and time and all of that. Eventually you notice, of course, and a lot more communication then starts happening as we go forward from there. Yeah, there is that patient vibe, of course, with the pentacles being repeated. What else can we see here? The purple is standing out. I think you form like a spiritual connection first. So it's as though that the whole, you know, textbook movie scene of like, it's as though something is pulling you guys together, that whole situation going on here, right? So yeah, that definitely seems like either you have manifested or you just have been without like realizing. Yeah, different from what you're used to. Maybe like they don't they're not your usual type. I think that's why you don't notice them at first. Yeah, exactly. But then you just hit it off a lot more than your usual type, or the ones that you've dated before at least. And it's kind of I'm feeling like pleasantly surprised, but at the same time, you know, curious. At the same time, it's like, huh, really? Like you want to get into it and see what else you have in common. There's an investigative quality, but neither one is like very pushy. But because of that open curiosity, you have a lot of wonderful conversations, really. You talk about bigger topics, you talk about smaller topics, and you just get to know each other. There can even be, with the Fool and the Two of Pentacles, it feels as though you're having childlike fun in that moment. You're just like enjoying your life like you did, you know, when you were a kid, whether you're creating something by yourself or that's something that you do for your work, or somewhere that you're just letting loose and just having a lot of fun here. You're doing what you would really, really love to do. And that's because this person likes that genuine side of you. There is like nowhere to hide, right? When two people meet under the most authentic circumstances, there are like no surprises in the personality. If you can like someone's authenticity, then you know there's not much else to dislike here. And if someone is being inauthentic, then it's not only hurting the other person but even themselves. So it's not really fair to anyone in the whole connection. So this person is appreciating you and your authenticity and however you express yourself. And because you are not anticipating this person in the situation, at least prior to this point. Okay, spoilers, right? Because you are not expecting this. You just are letting loose and having fun. That's it. You're not trying to do anything. So there is absolute total authenticity here. And I think this person really very much admires that. Okay, and is kind of compelled to come towards you and strike up a conversation, see what else you have. But it seems very admirable to this person. Okay, thinking highly. I think someone is like ideal. Okay, I think you might be this person's type. Maybe not the other way around, but then when you start talking, it's like, no, this is perfect. This is actually perfect. Because yeah, it's not something I'm expecting, but it's so much better. It's that kind of vibe. You can also, it's kind of like the practicality of things just works as well. You know, it's just, it makes sense in a way, right? It can be that perhaps you already spend quite some time together and you just didn't see each other that way. Okay, you kind of became very close. For some of you, it could be like family, friends, all right? You go like way back and you just never considered each other because you just grew up together and stuff, and then you drifted apart and then you did your own thing and so on. But both of you kind of know each other's child selves. Okay, of course, that's going to be like a couple of you perhaps, but yeah, that's also definitely a scenario. Open curiosity, discovery. Yeah, something I notice, not really now, but just in general, I noticed that always people are trying to make themselves heard, but very few people are sitting there and actually listening, right? So if you don't listen, you don't know how to respond, and everything just becomes very reactive based on previous experiences or other traumas and all of that. So it's not really open to get to know someone, right? It's kind of a face value statement if it's not really being practiced here. So I think there is that openness, a real openness to learning more about each other. And that's what creates this ongoing connection. Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, both of them have this infinity going on here in the images. This indicates that you can keep on going on talking forever, almost, or seemingly. You can keep on talking, you can keep on discussing both spiritual and practical topics, logical conversations, and just the mundane. You can do the small talk, you can do the philosophy. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. A time just passes and the conversation keeps flowing. Let's see what else we get for pile 2, please. Libra, 4th house and Uranus. You see, the 4th house is about family and home. So once again, people you consider family, they are going to be pivotal in your meeting of this person. Okay, what else can we get here? And Uranus is that unpredictable, like I was not expecting this, I just didn't see it this way. And it rules Aquarius, so yeah, sorry, again I keep saying Aries, but Libra, Aquarius and Gemini, and maybe Aries since I keep repeating it for some reason. But yes, all right. What else can we get here? Let me just shuffle one more time. Let's see, pile 2. And you're being just yourself, your inner self, you're just expressing you, doing you, that's it. We have Mars in Virgo in the 2nd house, which would make this a Leo rising chart. Okay, so there is definitely like oh yeah, of course, come on, I didn't even notice this. We have firecrackers, right? Fireworks going on and like star bursting. We have 2 stars here, so there's absolutely a chemistry. You can't quite put a finger on it. It just feels like just the vibe. I don't know what it is, but just the vibe, that kind of dynamic going through here. I think you share values. That's similar. Once again, the approach is different, but your values are very similar. And because of that, your priorities are kind of aligned. So that's why it kind of makes like practical sense. And that's very exciting because, that's like one trouble out of the way. Like nobody wants to have that trouble, right? Like you enjoy each other's company. You love talking to each other. You love being with each other. And there you go. This is like the biggest long distance situation ever. Like it's the frustrating kind of problem, I guess. Not that any problem is okay, but you know what I mean. So you have the practical situations done, kind of. You can figure that out. That's not really the problem at all. It seems maybe in the past, if you have met this person already, okay? If you have met this person, and some of you have, okay, either that or like very soon, if you're thinking of enrolling in like a course or like joining a team, if you have a team and you're like collaborating with someone, you have like a maybe not type of situation, then this is already like you did not recognize each other that way, because it almost felt a little bit too straightforward, or like, yeah, it was too obvious, I guess. Sometimes we just don't notice obvious things. For example, gravity, right? We had to have a genius tell us that, hey, we don't fly, see, right? So it's kind of that vibe here. But having these things in common, it really helps you guys out. I want to go one more and then we'll get to charms. Don't know why I shuffled again, but let's go. Sun in Sagittarius in the 6th house. You see that workplace or your lifestyle is something you have in common here. Certain beliefs and big topics that you discuss are similar. Maybe both of you are spiritual in some way. The star absolutely connects with the divine and with the higher realms. So maybe you have some sort of practice like that, and this person either would love to hone in on that, or already practices certain things and you can like learn from each other. Maybe they use like a different method. For example, if you're into astrology, this person might be into tarot, or vice versa, or like something else entirely. But either way, like you can collaborate and learn from one another, and that opens up for both of you further opportunities, and it excites both of you for these opportunities here. All right, let's get some charms for you, pile 2. We have, okay, I got this in the previous group as well. We have a lion. All right, you know what? I keep repeating Aries. I got Sagittarius here, and now we have the lion, which is Leo. We basically have all of the zodiacs. What's happening here? Can be just about anyone. Come on, guys, you're not helping. Okay, we have the heel here, and we have the leaf, which corresponds with the Pentacles vibe. So basically it indicates that this person is well-rounded, okay? Having all of the zodiacs here means that regardless of their zodiac sign, this person is very well balanced and has a component of all of these suits, okay? They have earth energy, very well expressed, well pronounced. The fire energy is there. They can pursue, they can be very active and dynamic, but they can also retreat, relax, go with the flow, like with the water signs. And they can have a lot of intellectual conversations, talk about the mind and the bigger topics, like the air sign. So it's a very all-rounded person here, and it seems like you as well are. No wonder you're like living in your joy, you're doing your thing, you're just having a jolly good time basically. And the heel here indicates that I'm hearing strut your heels, okay? So you got it. You're really confident in this phase here when you meet this person. You're happy with where you're going. You're very happy with how you're looking as well. I think you're appreciating yourself a lot more. You're caring for yourself a lot as well. I think, let's say this is like a group setting, whether it is friends or like family or a mix of both. This is like, you might feel like a star of the show. You're getting a lot of compliments in this time. You're very easily noticed, but you're not noticing too many people at this time, just talking to people who are around you. Now the leaf over there is feeling abundant and feeling very prosperous as well. It's a successful time in your life here. You might, if you have your own business, by the way, you're getting those manifestations. Your family is supporting you. You're getting a lot of clients and other business. The dreams that you have, future plans that you have, you're working on. The Three of Pentacles can say that this person comes in to help you out because of your commonalities. But at the same time, they look after like a different department, or they have a different skill set, so it kind of helps divide the labor as well. So you might very well work with each other. But either way, both of you collaborating brings in greater prosperity, greater abundance to everybody involved here. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed the reading and that it resonated with you. Please let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's get into what path you are following in order to meet your next love interest. The first card we have here is when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Okay, your first tarot card is the Queen of Cups. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Wheel of Fortune, looking good, looking good. Okay, then we have the King of Cups, Queen and the King, very nice. It's always nice to see a counterpart energy in a love reading. We have the King of Pentacles, all right. So you meet this person by doing some sort of healing work. Either that's something that you do or you just are healing by yourself. Dealing with certain things related with worth, security, self-love, things like that. And as you deal with these things, you change your circumstances quite tangibly. The King of Pentacles and the King of Cups indicates that when you reach a level of emotional maturity or self-satisfaction, you are instantly making this a reality. The Wheel of Fortune indicates that you're ascending, and while I was shuffling, I kept seeing an exponential graph, okay? So it just starts off slow, or seemingly it does, and then it just shoots up at one point. There's like a breakaway point, and then goes straight up. And yeah, that's basically the graph. So it feels as though you might have gone through some things previously, and you had to go through a bit of a journey to self-expression and exploration here. And as you like cleansed, healed, let go of parts that were not really you, and you uncovered more and more of your joyful self, that's when you meet this person. That's what enables this person to come through. I'm hearing clearing the channel. Looking at the Queen of Cups, it can be that you're connecting with your higher self. First, it's a spiritual bond, then it's an emotional connection, and then you meet physically, and that's when the sparks are lit. Okay, nice. So let's get some more clarification. Let's describe the Queen of Cups a little bit more. For Pile 3 viewers, please, the path to the next love interest. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Wow, we have the Sun. That's really good. Okay, now the Page of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands. Very nice. And there is, by the way, an instant chemistry, instant spark. You just know it, both of you. You just feel it, you know it. There is no doubt between anybody here. It's, you know that saying, right? When it's right, it's right. It feels like that. It feels right. Okay. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune, please. Let's clarify that. Yeah, see the Death. No wonder. Like, I didn't see any like darker cards here or like difficult lessons, but I still was feeling as though there has been some things that were just not easy for you while growing up or in the beginning stages of your romantic journey. And you've had to work through these things, let go of certain habits, or Death can talk about obsessions. Either you felt obsessed with a certain person or a type of dynamic, or it could be some people that you were seeing which were a little bit on the manipulative or difficult to deal with type of side for like a number of reasons, right? But you dealt with those things, and through each of these experiences, I feel as though you know that you've learned a lot, you've come very, very far, and that you're not repeating those mistakes ever again. The Queen and the King is like that self-assurance. It's kind of, I know that I'm not going to do those things. It doesn't feel right to me anymore. You've come a very, very, very long way along your journey, and the farther you go, I feel like the farther you go, the younger you're getting. Okay, the more attractive you're being. The King of Cups. Let's clarify the King of Cups for Pile 3, please. And the Wheel of Fortune. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The King of Pentacles. Let's clarify that one. King of... Yes, thank you. The Ace of Swords. See, like that I know that conviction is just so strong. I think you're so self-secure, and you just want for nothing. Okay, you feel as though you have everything, it's that kind of vibe that you're staying in, and you're enjoying that, you're expressing that, you're doing what makes you feel very at home, very comfortable in your own skin, in things that you surround yourself with. And it just keeps spiraling up. I'm also getting this quote of, if you make space for something, it will get filled. With all this water energy, water takes the shape of the container, right? So what container do you want to be? What is the thing that you surround yourself with? That's the vibe that's going to cultivate. That's the emotion that will be incited. Are you surrounded by passionate people, by like quotes that inspire you, or certain images you have put up that's just very sparkly, or like up and about? Like, do you cultivate that internally? Even whichever way that you do, it's sort of the space that you create for yourself is going to determine how you're vibing on like a default level, right? That's why there is that whole thing of like declutter your space and declutter your mind and so and so. With the 2 aces here, it feels very instantaneous. I don't know if I'm like over promising or something, but it feels as though the manifestation actually happens very quickly. And of course, this is like talking about one other person. So if they are not a clear channel yet, then that's what's going to be set into motion. And certain habits and addictions need to end on their side of the story as well, before the story can move forward. But I feel like you have that sense of knowing within you, that intuitive nudge, which is like, I know it has happened. I know it's happening right now. There is a very strong faith. I don't know how else to describe it. It really is like that. You know it. And that lights you up on fire. Like, I've done it. I did my manifestation. It's coming. It's here. Okay, it's here. It's just a matter of like really seeing this situation kind of follow through. So yes, when you do meet this person, at least you absolutely know, and both of you know in your hearts and in your spiritual bodies here. This also indicates the Wheel of Fortune and the Death I'm talking about. It indicates that when you meet each other, you feel a sense of peace. And while you were on this journey as well, as you shed layers on layers of yourself which are not authentic to you, you feel a deeper and deeper sense of calm, of self-acknowledgement, acceptance, unconditional love, and a huge boost in self-empowerment. With water signs, that's also some disclaimer that comes in here, that they take on the energy of other people, and every water sign needs to work on boundaries. Sometimes it's a little bit too much in case of fixed signs, sometimes it's, and also cardinal sometimes, and sometimes it's not there at all, like with Pisces, okay? But that's kind of the lesson that comes with being that zodiac here. But I feel as though both of you support each other in this journey, and I think it is likely that both of you could be water signs here. So Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So there is definitely that mutual understanding. You know those people who just feel as though something is up with their partners, that emotional sync. Right? If someone's feeling a little bit cranky, the other person knows it already. And it's not about being paranoid. It's really knowing, and because there is that sense of kinship, no one's like projecting that stuff on each other. No one's getting angry about it. There's like no irrationality here. There's a very strong sense of comfort and confidence in each other and in the self as well. So if you're not feeling up to it for something, you can openly talk about it. And by the way, these things that I'm talking about that you would do with each other, or when you make this connection already, you already are doing this by yourself. And I think this person is as well. Okay, this is, when we say spiritual connection, it automatically means that the most authentic versions or the most higher versions of yourselves are connecting with each other, and that already has happened. Okay, that it seems like it has already happened. If you feel as though you resonate with that clear channel perspective, or if you're going through this cleansing healing process, then it happened. It happened sometime. The moment you manifest it, it just happens when you know it. And it feels as a wait for a season or something. The Wheel of Fortune is maybe next season, depending on, you know, which hemisphere you're in. Whatever the next season is for you, this person can come about here. And what was I talking about before? Yes, you're feeling very much in sync with each other. By the way, whenever you do meet with this person, maybe like verify or something, like maybe you've had like some feelings in common, or that might be like a little bit hard to track, to be honest, but you know, if you can, because there are some experiences that you could be going through together, but you're apart, right? And it could be a feeling, but it can even be like a realization, some sort of breakthrough that happens that liberates the both of you from like a repeating cycle in some way. The King of Swords, King of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords is talking about there is a lot of self-security in a financial sense, and also other materials. So you have like your priorities straight, you know what your values are, you know what you are willing to handle, what you're not, what you can compromise, what you don't want to, things like that. So you know what would make you feel at home with one another. And I think both of you are independent, but both of you are also very understanding, accepting, and compromising at the same time. So King and the Queen is like your equal partners in this way. This would be the only pile so far, I think, that I would say this is a definite soulmate connection that can go the distance, okay? Because you're meeting after dealing with some difficulty so that you can have this happily ever after with this particular person here. When you know, you know. I'm just going to repeat that a million times and it still won't be enough, I guess. The moment I'm looking at the Page of Wands, I feel like leaping with joy, just like with this card over here. And I think that's reflecting the way you feel along this journey, after meeting this person, and so on. Wow. All right. You can have very deep conversations, by the way, even the more uncomfortable conversations, getting vulnerable and intimate emotionally and otherwise as well. It seems to come very naturally in this connection here, okay? And if something makes you uncomfortable, you absolutely can talk about it with one another. And I feel like both of you are very good listeners, okay? Very good listeners. Or you're just very understanding, something like that, but your compassion is very, very unconditional and boundless in a way. Both of you could also be very sensitive souls. And yes, like I said, you water signs kind of have to work with the boundary work, but they're naturally sensitive, and even if they have the boundary, they're not blocking out the other's signals, but there's kind of being a little bit more discerning as to what they adopt as their own, right? That's the point of having a boundary. Yeah, I'm really getting next season. Next season. Yeah. That exponential graph. I think you understand where you come from as well. All right, let's get some astro dice here. Pile 3, please. Let me get some more information for pile 3 with the person popped towards their next person. With the North Node Pisces, there you go with the 5th house. Yes, very nice. So this indicates you might have like a dream date scenario, or like a dream scenario of how you want to meet your person, and that could be working out. Really. Maybe you were like manifesting while the sun was in Pisces. So what is it, end of March, the beginning of March and the end of February, that would be Pisces season. And also Mercury was in Pisces. If you're watching when I'm posting this now, Mercury has moved on, but like previous to this week, Mercury was in Pisces, so it was a very potent time for manifestation as well. Our brain was very good for like creativity, imagination, intuition, and all of that. So perhaps some of you have manifested during that time, and that's why I'm feeling like it has already happened in some way, somewhere. It just has. I can't quite put a finger on it, but it has happened. And with the North Node there, this is fated. This is a fated connection. It just has to happen no matter what. So you don't even have to try at all for this particular situation. And if you already are, then what you're seeking is absolutely seeking you here. Okay. Wow. One more. You could have been a sensitive child, by the way. Sensitive child who used to think a lot, perhaps, wonder a lot of things, maybe had a very unique mind or unique upbringing that could have set into motion a different type of thought pattern or, perception of the world while you were growing up. And certain things could have acted like mental blocks or emotional blocks, and you dealt with those things through your healing journey and your cleansing process. And those same difficulties transform into your greatest strengths, your power of self-expression here. So the Sun in Aquarius in the 5th house indicates that your mental compatibility is as well really high, and you are very attracted to their intelligence and they to yours. And I think your long-term goals or the visions that you have in life, that's similar, or the type of people that you want to enjoy with, hang out with, that's very similar here as well. So if both of you are water signs, then I think the type of people you attract are going to be vibing with both of you. Okay, one more please, one more. Let's go one more. You've gotten 5th house throughout all of this. I keep shuffling so that we get a different house to get a broader context, but the 5th house keeps coming up. I think 5th house, because, this is talking about the inner child as well, or the child selves. So the way that you express yourself has, and this is, by the way, just for yourself. This is not necessarily for the outside world. If you want, you can showcase it, of course, but it's not always necessary that you're showing it out to the world. But the way that you have fun, the things you have in common as adventures or hobbies or ways that you entertain yourself, your dating style, flirting style, and also the way that your inner child has fun is in common with the two of you here. And I think you can be quite adventurous as well, or this can talk about you like to think about bigger topics, you like to discuss some bigger questions that cannot be answered and therefore requires a bit of a discussion, and then you kind of expand your knowledge through that. I'm looking at these books over here in the background. I never point this out, I don't know why. But yes, the books in the background indicates that this person is very experienced and learned, okay? So he's gone through a lot of stuff. So you could even research on things before you have some conversations, or you just naturally are readers and you think about things, you introspect on them. So having this person around really helps get it out there, become a little bit more well expressed and well developed as well, which is very exciting for the both of you here. You can also be taking short trips abroad if traveling is something that you enjoy. The Wheel of Fortune can talk about an adventurous spirit that both of you have here, and you really gel on that. But I will say that the places that this person might go to is a little bit different from what you would go to, but it's not a deal breaker at all. It's not even ew, I would not ever go there. It's not like that. You can definitely see the appeal, and I think you're open to trying it out. There's a lot of openness, that's for sure, on both sides. Okay, I'm also hearing the message, what you wish for truly is yours. It's already yours. Wow. Okay, let's get you some charms. Pile 3, please. Path to their next love interest. We have the key. We have, what is this? A feather quill, all right. This is kind of the Wheel of Fortune it's reminding me of. The key has a heart on it, and we have a bird here. So free flying, and this is the air element as well with the bird here. So liberating to meet this person, and I think you can just have a very easygoing time, having a lot of conversations, having a lot of fun and so on. You just get along quite easily. Also, this is I'm thinking of the swift or a swallow, but mostly swift in this case because everything is very rapid. Like I said, it's almost instantaneous here, the way this connection happens. Even when you meet, it's like instant, and even without it, when you manifest, it's like an instant manifestation. And the practicality is kind of coming into focus after that, but beyond that, there's not really any blockage. Okay, now this cyclical nature here indicates that there is a promise, an eternal promise. There's definitely some sort of fate attached to it, and there will be regenerations and rebirths within the connection here. But I think once you are in union, both of you share some sort of life purpose together. And I'm not saying that both of you have one life purpose in common, but you know, them dealing with their own life story is helping you deal with your own purpose as well, and vice versa. The things that you learn, the advice that you have, is helping them with their following their own life purpose. And you're not trying to do this on purpose or anything, right? It's very natural. Once again, you're the key to their heart, and vice versa here. Very cheesy, yes, but you know, that's what's coming through there. Also, this openness is your key, and I think the vulnerability and the sensitivity that you have is your answer, is the reason why you find this person, or the reason how you find it. Having that faith and strength in your own emotional body is how you attract this person into your reality. Now this feather here is reminding me of the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords, really. Feather quill, you can write with it, you can translate your ideas through. So yes, scripting could work. If you've not yet manifested, then maybe, you know, get on it whenever you feel like the moment is right. Put in that heart, put in your soul, use that sensitivity. It's honestly your power here, and just express yourself as truthfully as you can. And it's set into motion. That's it. There's just no running away from it. There's no questioning it at all. I've not felt this 100,000,000% sure about like a general tarot reading. So I don't know, I'm surprised to have this experience here with you guys, but really it looks very, very strong. You might be very naturally well versed with manifestation techniques or abilities, or you trust yourself in this creation. I'm getting direction, some sort of direction with the bird there. Also, the Ace of Swords is a compass. It could again be pointing to like you will find each other. It's as though your spiritual selves are kind of, no matter where you turn, it's always like pulling you in that north direction, basically. Okay, so if you move somewhere like really opposite to this person, even then you'd be like, something is not working here, something doesn't feel right, and you're like pulled towards the way that this person is. So there's an automatic magnetism that is going on, and the circle is making it feel like it's a much larger sequence of events that neither one of you can force, but you can definitely work with. And I think you are, and these larger events are happening as a result of our thoughts and actions and feelings, most importantly feelings for you. Basically, it's happening for you, and I think you're a lot, of course, we all are very powerful beings. It's very hard to like realize that when we are in a human body, perhaps, but you know, we really are, and use these natural skills that you have here to kind of make this a reality. So if you have not yet manifested, you absolutely can. Choose your moment, see when the feeling feels right, because it's going to be instant. Okay, and I'm not saying that you will meet this person right away as soon as you're like, okay, I'm gonna open my eyes and the person has to be right in front of you. Maybe for some of you it might work depending on your location, but like if you're inside the house in your bedroom or something, that would be a little bit creepy. So, you know, I'm not saying that, I'm not gonna guarantee that, but I'm just saying that it's just very quick. I don't know how else to say. Within a month, it seems to be real for like many of you here, or like next season, you know. Okay, yes, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and, you know, helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. We will see what your path is towards your next love interest. So let's take a look at your oracle card. We have through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. All right. Your tarot cards, we have the Knight of Swords. Then we have the Eight of Swords. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Seven of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Swords. All right, we have 2 sixes, very nice. And we have 3 swords. So there is a level of mental blockage clearing. That's part of the journey. And this can be, for example, you might be a little bit more persuasive, or you're like, you know, when I want something, I just go after it. That type of determined qualities you might have. And that's absolutely wonderful here. But I guess for the type of person you want to be attracting, that's not vibing in that way. So what I feel like you are redirecting that focus at some point here towards like focusing on your other goals and ambitions and things like that. And you're utilizing that same energy in that area. So because it's redirected, the way that you approach your romantic life is as well a little bit different than otherwise. And what that creates is a lot of space and fertility for newer connections to approach you. The Six of Swords is like you're going somewhere, you know you're making a lot of headway, a lot of progress and things like that, but you may not know exactly where you are headed at this time. But what happens is this is a divine movement, and as a result of that, it's as though the person is waiting at the end of the journey, okay? So pursuit is not necessary, like actively pursuing a specific person might not be necessary in your case, because this is someone that is there and is attracting you, okay? So if you pursue, it kind of negates, both of you are then pursuing, right? So if you're in this stuck energy here with the Eight of Swords, you might be wondering like, why is something not working? You've tried a lot of things. Perhaps, you know, there are some worth issues as well. Perhaps you believe you're not good enough, or, you know, the type of person that you're trying to attract might not be, you know, in the area that you live in, or, you know, there might be just not enough chances for you to meet the type of person that you are interested in, things like that. But there is a change that happens along the journey, and it looks like you're either relocating or you're traveling someplace. For some of you, I'm also getting like you're going for like business trips. Okay, maybe planting some seeds somewhere, you're launching an idea, or you're developing on a project, something like that. And you're really not intending to go for a romantic pursuit, but then you happen to make a connection here, which slowly builds over time, and it builds over a very strong foundation, and it leads to a lot of success. I think you have a journey in common together here as well. Not surprising, we're talking about the next relationship, so of course you would have at least a part of your journey together. But yes, okay, now the Six of Wands can talk about like social media influencer. It also talks about success, victory, winning, being seen, and so on and so forth. So I feel like you have come out victorious in one aspect or one or more aspects of your life because of your tenacity, your perseverance, your focus. Also, even if you did not believe that you could do something, whether that is related to career, just life goals, or even romantic, goals and intentions, you see that you are succeeding in them one by one because you put in the effort and you don't let negativity stop you in any way. You might be a regular practitioner of prayers and meditation. If not, it is highly recommended because it helps clear out the mental space. It helps you understand yourself a lot more and kind of puts the thoughts where they need to be put. Like, we don't need to translate, family expectations into our romantic life necessarily, unless we want to, unless there is a purpose to that. But what often happens in our busy lives is that we just have a muddle of thoughts, and when we don't meditate, everything just crisscrosses into every other area of life. And after like a period of time, we don't even know where a certain fear even came from. That's when things can get a little bit tricky to resolve, right? All right, now I want to shuffle for clarifiers for each of these cards and get some more details for pile 4, please. Knight of Swords, their path to their next love interest. Knight of Swords. We have the 5 of Swords. Let's clarify the 8 of Swords, please. Thank you. We have the 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, the low self-esteem or low self-worth, that could be an issue that you have been struggling with, or you're trying to resolve this. It can be that like you're trying many different things, but it might be kind of tried by you. So personally, you're doing this. You're not really consulting other people on it, really. But if you have like close people, let me see what the 6 of Wands is. What's the 6 of Wands, please, for pile 4? Yeah, okay, we have the King of Cups. Let's clarify 7 of Pentacles. We have the Lovers. Yeah, see, this is a very nice one. The patience is very well rewarded, and the partnerships that you make here have a very good chance of like building into something a lot more solid. The 6 of Wands can indicate that you're finding success through your feelings. So the emotions that you have are going to result in the type of partnership you want. You might be thinking a lot about cleansing the thought process, or saying the right things and so on, and you might be a little bit confused as to what exactly are you supposed to affirm, what works for you, and things like that. And you can try a couple of methods, but ultimately what works for you is the feeling and the intention that you have deep down. This can also indicate that you're being guided along the journey. So maybe you have like a friend who is, or a cousin or a family member who is, well settled in their romantic life, and you look up to them, something like that. And they can have some pieces of information or guidance, which at some points it might feel like, whoa, like that's too much. I don't know how do we even get there? Many times I feel that like when I'm trying to, let's say like working out, okay? The most prevalent guidance that you see online are from like professionals, and they can do everything like in one shot, right? Same goes with like meditation. If like a saint or a monk comes around and is giving you meditation advice, you're like, well, yeah, of course you can meditate for like 2 hours every day. That might not be very feasible for beginners and just people going around their everyday lives, right? And we can say all we want that, no, everybody can do that. And technically, yes, that's true. But everybody has also various priorities or, lifestyles going on. So it might not all be reachable from the get-go. So the thing is, you look up to this person, and that's completely great, because to have a template itself is amazing. But at the same time, we need to trim down the qualities that we are expecting from the get-go. So in the beginning stages of the relationship, they probably did not look like they do 10 years later, right? So we need to trim it back and lower the expectations in a way that it is very manageable for you. Okay, but the part of the journey is a little bit of like hit and miss, or like you think it's one way but it's not really. There could be some miscommunications here and there as well, and that could lead to some negative thoughts about yourself or about relationships and the engagement that you have within relationships in general. But that will absolutely transform. The change is so drastic here between the 8 of Swords, 6 of Wands. There's like a deep understanding and awakening that happens, where you're like, what, I know I'm amazing. I don't have to lower myself or my standards for anyone or anything. It's okay. Like, I'm great the way I am. And that does not mean that you remain stagnant in life. It doesn't mean that you just day 1 and day 365 is going to be the same person or the same version of you. It just means that whatever journey you're on and whichever way you are developing, you're doing so in the best way possible for you, and you're not hurting anybody in the process, right? So that's literally the best that you can do, and that's what you shall do. And I think that's what you're realizing here, that you've done your part, and that's it. That's the place where you surrender, you let go, and you go with the flow. Beyond that point, I think you're making bigger life changes in your personal life related to your career, finances, and also lifestyle. You're also looking into deeper qualities within partnerships. For example, when you start talking with someone new, instead of delving too deeply about likes and dislikes, maybe you ask a little bit deeper questions about like their family, their background, their culture, and things like that, to get to know a little bit deeper about them. And usually when people talk about these deeper aspects, they also showcase a different side to themselves. So through this process, I think you can get to know more people more intimately. Six of Swords, please. Pile 4, please. We have again Six of Swords clarifying the Six of Swords, and we also came up with the Ten of Cups. This indicates like ultimate happiness and ultimate bliss. It feels like the happily ever after type of dynamic, but at the same time I really love to see the Six of Swords, because it's not like holding on to expectations, and it's not like, oh, utopia is right over there, I'm gonna step over there and it's just going to be perfect, because then there is not much scope for anybody to be human. There's like high expectation on someone else and also you, and also on the dynamic of the relationship to just be upheld the entire time. So I really like that you're taking things as it goes. The going with the flow is just highly emphasized. We have Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, the Lovers, which is card number 6, and twice we have Six of Swords. So sixes talk about harmony, they talk about balance and partnership as well. So you're absolutely being guided in this direction. So don't worry if at some points, it just doesn't feel right with someone. If it doesn't fit, don't try to force it to fit, because I'm telling you, with this person here, you're naturally curious, you naturally get along, and it can even be that both of you come from the same background, so it's much easier to like open up and talk about things. It's like the other obviously you can't have a conversation with someone where you're the only one who's asking questions and the other one is like answering and is like, okay, well, so do you like blue, do you like red? Right? Obviously not. So this here is making me feel very optimistic for you, that this person is just as curious to get to know the deeper aspects of you. It just so happens that you meet at the right time, okay? The Lovers is right time, right place, right circumstances. If you meet this person quicker than you are feeling ready, this person might not be ready. What if they are wanting to still date around and see and explore and all of that? Maybe they are not ready to make a big commitment and promise. And if you meet in that wrong timing, you might not get to experience something that would be very blissful, actually, right? So meeting when both of you are ready to make something solid happen, that's what's happening here. And given that we're talking about your next partnership, I guess, this looks quite promising, okay? I'm not going to overpromise here, of course, but it looks really like you're very happy, and this can be one of your soulmates. Okay, if you believe that there is one soulmate, then maybe this one's it, because the Lovers is absolutely a soulmate union card. And the King of Cups as well is like a very deep knowing and understanding. The Six of Wands feels like on top of the world, as if it's winning, things like that. And like I said, you're not actively looking with like very high expectation, The moment you meet someone, you're not like, okay, you might be the one, you might be the one. There's none of that going on. You just meet them, you see what happens. And it so happens with this particular person here that you just discover a lot more. And I think both of you agree that you can see a potential future, because both of these cards and also the Seven of Pentacles talk about, let's move ahead. Let's see what's ahead. Right? If this was just a one-shot thing or not too commitment oriented, you would just not look to the future at all. You would enjoy what's in the moment, and that's it. And that's like another type of, happiness and joy and all of that. But in your case, it looks like a little bit more serious, a little bit deeper. But I think there are some hit and misses. I think it has already happened, of course. This might be talking about the past, and that's as well part of the journey, and certain disappointments might have happened, or like breakups because of miscommunication, or, you know, just the exchange was not satisfying enough. Maybe it was more like a one-sided interaction and you didn't know what was going wrong. But let me tell you, it was the wrong person or the wrong timing, wrong place, wrong situation, something like that. Okay, it was not a very strong soulmate situation. Otherwise, we would see that already here. So that could have left you a little bit pessimistic, but at the same time, it's not so much that it drags you down with it, okay? It looks like you've gone through some healing process as well. After all these disappointments, through prayer and meditation, you create a deep level of peace and contentment here. You adore yourself so much, and you're respecting your own needs and desires, and you're catering to your own needs as well. You're not asking someone else to fulfill that for you, because honestly, from that place, a balanced relationship just cannot even happen from the get-go. And if that's not the foundation, that's it. It's not happening in the future as well, right? So this here looks very wonderful because you're independent, you're loving yourself, you are clear about what you're looking for and what you are, what you can offer, right? It's important to know how you would love. And you're like, I don't mind if I have to wait a little bit, but I'm going to wait because I'll know when the right person is here. And for sure, you're going to know. The moment you speak to them, it just feels a lot different than your previous experiences. Of course, goes without saying that manifestation, meditation, your intention setting, and just feeling into the vibes that you have going on within you related to love in your heart, things like that can be very potent in creating something very tangible for you to have this meeting happen as well. And I'm really also feeling that you would be traveling in this time, or you're going through a phase of, you know, transition within your own lifetime. Okay, so like it could be, for example, shifting your mindset. That's a sort of transition. Changing your lifestyle. That's also a transition. And going for short trips, of course, that's obviously a transition there. Okay, so let's see what else we have for you, pile 4. Path to their next love interest, please, for pile 4. We have Saturn, Cancer in the 12th house. Yeah, there were some like karmic connections there in the past, certain lessons to learn. But Cancer in the 12th is like there is a very deep spiritual component to this connection itself. And so the journey that you take to find this person is as well very deeply spiritually and heart awakening here. Saturn is like, let's increase our tenacity. And that also means we need to drop what is unnecessary, and we need to be very disciplined about what is necessary and important to us. Okay? For your heart to feel happy, to feel content, what do you need? Are there certain expectations to surrender? Are there certain desires you have that need to be a higher priority? Mutual respect, for example, right? That's very important, and it needs to be a higher priority. That's what Saturn would say. And let go of the need to whatever. All right? Wow. And also, when you connect with this person, there is a heart connection from the get-go. I think you understand each other emotionally. And it can even be that they have gone through some difficulties as well in the past, like certain relationships didn't work and they became a little bit wary, but now they're like looking again to make a newer connection and hoping that this time it's different, because they are different. And guess what? So are you. Wow. One more, please, for pile 4. We have the 11th house, Uranus and Taurus. Okay, so this can be meeting through your friends or network, your large-scale network. It can be a little bit surprising or unexpected the way that you meet here. And this also indicates that you have certain ambitions in common. Okay, 11th house is like your aspirations. For example, I always thought that I would like live in the opposite side of the world. Like, that's an aspiration. It's not very practically defined, and we don't really know how or when we're going to do something, or if ever will the wishes come true, but you have that in common, which makes it a lot more tangible. So, you can spontaneously make plans or spontaneously decide to do something completely out of the norm. And because it's uncomfortable or like new for both of you, you have like a bonding experience. Okay. And you feel very comfortable even talking to this person or like discovering more about them. And you're surprised happily with what you find. I feel surprisingly calm, surprisingly comfortable, surprisingly stable and grounded. I'm not looking at other people. I don't even feel like we're just being with each other. I don't know, the vibe is right. That's kind of what I'm hearing here. And this can also indicate that you're meeting through a friend who is very close to you as well. You feel comfortable with the friend and also with the person that you meet. One more, please. 8th house, North Node, and Sagittarius. Yeah, see, like there is a boldness and adventurous spirit that you have innately, and Sagittarius is very like unleashed. It's an arrow literally like leaving the archer. So all it wants is to go out there and expand and explore as well. So I think you can discuss a lot of the bigger topics. And North Node in the 8th house indicates that there are some healing processes and some therapy you might have gone through, like either self or through a professional therapist. But you've learned a lot and grown a lot within yourself, and you've dealt with a lot of the shadowy qualities as well. And it has just made you a lot wiser and a lot more wholesome. Okay, so this person and you can connect very vulnerably, very deeply, without removing a part of yourself for the other person. Okay, many times I've noticed that people want to be very sacrificing, or like they just like, this is not very uncomfortable, but because I care about you, I'm going to do this. And sometimes that is not really a compromise or something. It's literally a sacrifice of a deeper part of yourself. But in this connection, it doesn't feel like that pain. You can talk about it very openly, and you can talk about it privately as well. Right? So it's not like a huge deal. It can be solved within and amongst yourselves before it becomes a bigger topic. And I think because you've gone through some circumstances where it was not really the best relationships, you know exactly how to put your feelings or how to express your feelings from a bigger perspective, in a more objective viewpoint, and also very honestly. You're like, I'm going to be honest here, this is uncomfortable, but I'm just gonna put it out there because I don't want it to be a problem down the line. Something like that here. And that leads to a very communicative, very open, and also exciting, free-spirited relationship dynamic that you have with this person. Because the moment you take that step, the other person is like, oh, okay, so I can be myself here. I can open up too, and that doesn't give anybody the permission to be rude to one another. Like I said, you're very clear about your boundaries. 8th house as well is very sure about the boundaries here. This is my mind, this is my psyche, this is my conscious, so on and so forth. So you're clear about how much is overstepping, and both of you respect that, which just creates a very harmonious dynamic between the two of you here. Wow, very nice. Also, you may talk about like very deeper topics, so deeply emotional topics, or even like topics around the world that bother you. Okay, and you have that viewpoint in common, but you can still have an open and honest discussion about like the different sides of the story, or like different news articles you read, or whatever that is. Okay, 4. We have an angel wing, which is talking about that support once more. We have a leaf, which talks about the natural processes of things. We have this ribbon, which reminds me of the 6 of Wands. The paw over here, maybe you have pets, or you would love to have pets at some point. But this also indicates like you're making your mark, you're doing your thing, and you're going about things in a very loyal, dedicated manner in and out of the relationship as well. That's just your approach to life here. And because of that, this connection grows very naturally in a stable and grounded manner. There's no over promising, no over expectations, no rigidity, and so on. It feels so organic It's very refreshing. And the bee, or the, I was, what is that called? The flying thing with like the light in the end. I don't remember the name. It just suddenly blanked. My goodness. Okay, so it feels like there is a beacon that both of you are emitting that can be understood only by the two of you, which is what makes the whole soulmate situation happen, right? So you might be like, what? I'm bright, I'm light. Why is that person not into me? Why is the other person not into me? I gave my light here, and why are they not magnetized, and so on. That might be like a confusion here, and which could have led to maybe my light is not good enough, or maybe the way I'm shining is not great enough. I need to try a little bit harder. Maybe I need to flash my lights a little bit different, or whatever. But this person, at some point, you just like drop it. You're like, forget about it. I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's when you see that many people are being magnetized to you in a platonic way and also in a romantic way. At this moment, I don't think you're like ready to meet someone here. There's like an in-between stage where you're like, I'm just going to focus on other things. I think this is more of a healing stage here. But like, you're still enjoying it because you're still getting a lot of admiration and adoration. It's just a different experience from the previous part of your life, okay? And then as you keep moving forward and you become more and more naturally you just start uncovering who was you originally, and you start expressing that unapologetically, very beautifully. You're just loving yourself. I'm getting like angel vibes going on here. It's like an angel watching over, and it's like giving you wings, sort of, okay? Like, it's time for you to fly. You're like ready for this, and so on. And you keep on emitting that same type of beacon as you always have. But this time, because you're ready in all other aspects too, and so is the other person. We're talking about two people. That's like, it gets a little bit more complex than like a solo journey, of course. So this person is as well ready, and they also are emitting their beacon, and you just happen to recognize that. Okay, yeah, that's the message I got with that light bug thing. Oh my god, I can't remember the name. Okay, I want to get you this tarot card here, mini tarot. Yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Very nice. It's like the slow and steady wins the race. It might be a little bit of a longer process, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it because it also lasts that long, and it's something and someone that you can rely on in your toughest times. Like, isn't that just the best? Right? And it's also a very sensual connection. You understand each other, you appreciate and respect each other, that you cannot get bored. Like, it's, I don't want to make this overly romantic or something. It's not like that. But the way that someone like tucks their hair behind the ear, or like the type of food they make, the mannerisms, the body language, the attitude, these are the things that can't be faked, right? These are things that are so original, and those are the things that are appreciated by the two parties here. Okay, so it's so genuine. I can't even. This is so good. Honestly, I would say it's absolutely worth it. So if you've been disappointed before, I know it's easier said than done, but from an outsider's perspective, just let it be. Like, learn from it and move on. Learn and move on. That's the only thing to gain out of that. And that's it. You do your thing. You're remarkable, and you're just going to get even more shinier and shinier, okay? Lovely. So that's what I have for you, pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.